Wow, everybody. Can you hear me? What a great crowd today. I think everybody should give themselves an applause for showing up here. Woo. Well, good afternoon and welcome everybody. I will do our land acknowledgement at the moment here. We in Rotary would like to acknowledge that we are on the unceded traditional territory of the interior Salish, including the Sinixt people. We honor and respect with gratitude the land itself and those who have come before us. We would like to honor all Indigenous peoples, including Métis and Inuit. The Rotary Club of Grand Forks welcomes you to our community Peace Stone dedication ceremony, and we want to thank you very much for attending. This year, our Rotary Club became a Peace Builder Club through Rotary International. Maxine Rizika, Murray Knox, and John McNamara are our representatives. I have a quote for you. You may call for peace as loudly as you wish, but where there is no brotherhood, there can, in the end, be no peace. It's by Max Lerner. As the quote says, peace starts in our families, schools, workplaces, neighborhoods, cities, provinces, countries, and then on to the world. And for now, I would like to pass the mic to Maxine for our Master of Ceremonies. May peace prevail on earth. Thank you. And now we will unveil the peace stone.
Okay. Yep. Thank you so much, Murray. Murray Knox is unveiling our peace stone. And you will see that we have two peace stones here. One is the Rotary dedication plaque with thank yous to donors, which we'll get at later in the program. And the other one is the language of 9 languages actually engraved onto the stone, on the white stone on your right. And right now we're going to do the dedication by having our speakers here who will read, each one of these will read a language, and according to which language they agreed to read. Anyway, I'm going to start with Nick Doyle here for English. Nick. Oh, sorry, Nick, yeah. What we have is actually a recording of the Okanagan First Nations. We weren't able to get anybody here, but they did send us a recording.
Allah yaltım hula. Ma saç hasb usum Allah yaltım hula.
And that is, may peace prevail on earth. Nick, could you come up and do the English? Thank you.
May peace prevail on earth. May peace prevail on earth. May peace prevail on earth.
We have Liz Archer for French.
Puisse la paix régner dans le monde. Puisse la paix régner dans le monde. May peace prevail on earth.
Natasha Knox for Russian.
Да будет мир человечеству во всем мире. Да будет мир человечеству во всем мире. May peace prevail on earth.
Next we have Balbir Saini for Punjabi.
धरती उत्ते शांति कायम रहे धरती उत्ते शांति कायम रहे May peace prevail on earth.
For Spanish, Dirzo Candia Castillo.
Que la paz prevalezca en la tierra. Que la paz prevalezca en la tierra. May peace prevail on earth.
Ukrainian was going to be read by Anastasia Maximenko, there she is, right here, on time. I'm going to say it twice, and then say me peace to the Lord. Okay? Нехай буде мир людству у всьому світі. Нехай буде мир у всьому світі. Let peace prevail on earth. David Sevendeers will say German.
Möge Friede auf Erden sein. Möge Friede auf Erden sein. May peace prevail on earth.
And his wife is German. And Japanese, Ayumi Keito.
世界人類が平和でありますように。世界人類が平和でありますように。May peace prevail on earth.
Thank you so very much to our speakers of the 9 languages on our peace stone. Thank you. Thanks. Next, we have Jean Lloyd here with Métis prayer, which she will be reciting in the chief.
Merci pour Kishchi Kanawap Mikashu. Wiash Kishtu. Kan Moitak Portuntan Un Lavraz La Pays. Nia Amha Kianan Livre Teke Timwe. Respect pour Le Monde Zanamu and Weozu in Fleur Pi Kianon Chier Maman La Terre Kianon Pi Payak Michif Lemon Kikishi Tetamak Kiawao Ma Parente. Thank you for the privilege to extend gratitude for your good work for peace. I pray we work towards a deep respect for people, animals, birds, plants, and our precious Mother Earth. We are all one. Métis people are grateful, all my relations.
Thank you so much, Jean. Could somebody please find Sarah Dinsdale and ask her to have that music muted that's playing in the background? Thank you. Next, I'd like to call on Victoria Rund, and she's going to introduce the Boundary Heartbeat Drummers.
Good evening. Thank you for allowing us to be here tonight to drum. Heartbeat Drummers was formed by our Bannock board, and we've had new members coming. I'm also very honored tonight to have some public members, actually, and some staff co-workers of mine, where we made some drums for Boundary Women's Coalition. We're going to do the Humble Song. There's a little bit of action. Some of these women haven't drummed the Humble Song, so if we look like we're kind of out of place, it's all right. And the Humble Song is humility. We're honoring our plants, our grandmothers, our grandfathers, and just in a good way, and that's why we drum. Peyton, there's a drummer if you want to join us. And nobody behind anybody?
I'm always at the end. I know. Oh, it's like, don't look at me.
was absolutely wonderful. Thank you, Heartbeat Drummers, Boundary Heartbeat Drummers. Next on our agenda, we're going to move right along here because we've got a bit to cover. We're going to call the Rotary District 5080 immediate past District Governor, Lynn O'Connor.
Thank you, Maxine. What a beautiful place to be on this warm afternoon. Thank you for welcoming me and my husband from the United States. Rotary International's commitment to peace goes beyond just words. Rotarians recognize that actual peace is more than the absence of conflict. It involves action in areas that promote positive peace and requires relationships, friendships, broader than any one group of people. Rotary's areas of focus in which Rotarians and Rotary clubs are encouraged to act have been designed to promote peace. Clean water, sanitation and hygiene, disease prevention and treatment, basic education and literacy, community economic development, child and maternal health, supporting the environment, and peace and conflict resolution. We believe that true action in any one of these areas of focus support positive peace. This peace stone and this ceremony marking its importance to this community is a monument and celebration to that commitment, as are other peace poles and monuments popping up everywhere. People want peace, we want meaningful relationships, and we want to learn what we need to learn to be able to create just societies. It is my hope that we all take the next step to take meaningful action with each other as friends to further advance positive peace in our communities. Thank you.
Next, we have our Grand Forks Mayor, Brian Taylor. But I don't see Brian making his way forward here, so I'm going to call on Rolly Russell, our MLA for Boundary Similkameen.
I was told no more than 17 minutes, right? So thank you. It's a real pleasure to be here. I, of course, would acknowledge the Snipes and the Silk people, everybody else that has welcomed us here. Thank you for having us, and thank you for the invitation. I've been listening to a memoir of Trevor Noah's with my family, which is definitely not kid appropriate, but it's still pretty good. One of the things he says that I think is applicable here is he talks about the fact that we tell people to follow their dreams, but in order to follow their dreams, he says, you know, they need to have the ability to imagine what that dream will be. I think that over the course of my lifetime, and I think my children's as well, we have gone through a process of war being a harder and harder thing to actually imagine. We've moved away from that space. And I think in recent past, with the kind of erosion of civil discourse that Trump has brought to us, with the aggression that we see from Putin, with the toxification of social media discourse, we've seen more and more that that's become a reality again for our children, and it's frightening, I think. That said, I think it's conversations like this, it's dedications like this that really bring hope back into the conversation. And we've seen that hope as well comes with a groundswell, I think, of more advocates for peace around the world. And that's really a rewarding and important thing. And I think one thing we have here that is special is that groundswell of support comes on the heels of a long history of that support for peace, that advocacy for peace, from organizations like Boundary Peace Initiative, JJ and the USCC, and particularly Rotary in that cultural understanding piece. So really here, I just want to raise my hands and recognize the importance of this kind of thing, keeping peace clearly in our imagination and our dreams. And thanks to the Rotary and everybody else, so I raise my hands to you. Thank you.
Okay. Is he walking up right now?
No, he's said he was.
Okay, we're just going to move to the next one, but Brian Taylor, our mayor, is on his way. But in the meantime, I'd like to call on Shelley Grandy, representing the Baha'i community. She has a few words for us.
On behalf of the Baha'i community of Grand Forks, I'd like to thank the Rotary Club for bringing us together for this dedication to peace. We can see every day how the world is struggling to address the causes of the many injustices facing humanity, whether it is war, food insecurity, poverty, climate change, or failing social systems. None of us are unaffected. But with confidence in the power of like-minded individuals coming together to effect change on a global scale, the international governing body of the Baha'i Faith has suggested that the global challenges now facing humanity are a severe test of its willingness to put aside short-term interest and to come to terms with a stark spiritual and moral reality. There is but one interconnected human family, and it shares one precious homeland. They pose this question: what else will rescue the world but the efforts of countless souls who each make the welfare of humanity their principal, their dominating concern? And so we would like to acknowledge all the compassionate peacemakers present today and express our gratitude for all you do to make our community and the world a better place. And just a short excerpt from a Baha'i prayer. O thou kind Lord, unite all, let the religions agree and make the nations one, so that they may see each other as one family and the whole earth as one home. May they all live together in perfect harmony. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shelley. Just checking.
Brian is right there.
Oh, Brian, sorry. Come on forward. Our mayor, Grand Forks Mayor, celebrating our 125th anniversary for the city of Grand Forks.
Good afternoon, folks. My choice to live here in Grand Forks excuse the dryness, had a lot to do with my evaluation of the people who lived here. And so I first started visiting this valley in the 60s, moving fruit from the Okanagan because the orchards here hadn't sprung back, and so there was a market for fruit here, and we took potatoes back to the Okanagan. So you know, that was my first experience. Later on in life, I traveled too, like everyone else, and loved the trees on the boulevard, and you know, I spent very little time looking at Grand Forks. So my opportunity to live here came up, and I had to make a decision, and I certainly looked at the population of people who I believe really epitomize some of the best genetics we have out there. Doukhobors, yeah. Draft dodgers, good genetics, smart enough to get out of the U.S. And the counterculture with that is not. So, you know, I made a decision to live here, and my first experience with the peace initiatives came from Laura, bless her soul. And I remember that we did take some jeers for joining the Mayors for Peace, and in fact we should be ashamed we've never paid any money. Yeah. However, it stays on the books, and I still hope that there'll be some reconsideration of that. You know, for me, peace starts as a spark somewhere and grows. We have in front of us here in Grand Forks a corner we're turning in terms of our position in the boundary. We will be in a position to lead a lot of initiatives here throughout the boundary, and I think we need to really recognize the roots of our community, which are based in peaceful cooperation, to the point where I think it needs to be applied as a general rule in terms of how we operate our city, and we, to the most part, have done that. So I certainly welcome anything that keeps us on that road of recognizing how municipalities can be where we understand how peace starts. It starts with talking. I mean, as painful as it is sometimes, it starts with talking. So anyway, thank you very much. This dedication brings to mind many of my beliefs that you need to keep good ideas in front of people. So when people ask, what the heck are these? You can go, by the way, this is where we come from. This is our peace heritage. Thank you.
Just a little change, we have to switch up our agenda a bit. Jackie Rilka has a Sanskrit prayer that she would like to share with us. Jackie.
So I'd like to share 2 Sanskrit prayers. The first one, the translation is, let us be together, let us eat together, let us produce energy together, let there be no limit to our energies, and let there be no ill will or hard feelings among us. Let there be peace, peace, peace. If you know, you could sing along.
Sahanau Bunatu Sahaviram Karavavai Tejasvinavati Tamastu Ma Vidvishavai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. The second is called the Mula Mantra. It's a healing invocation, and in general the translation is this: we are calling on the Supreme Power, the Creator of the universe, the Creator of all creation, who comes into the heart and becomes my inner voice whenever I ask. The Divine Mother combined with the Divine Father, I ask for advice at all times. Om Satchidananda Parabrahma Purushottama Paramatma Shri Bhagavati Sameta Shri Bhagavate Namah. Om Satchidananda Parabrahma Purushottama Paramatma Shri Bhagavati Sameta Shri Bhagavate Namah Shri Bhagavati Sameta Shri Bhagavate Namah Shri Bhagavate Namah Shri Bhagavate Namah Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Thank you, Jackie. That was so beautiful. And for those of you that don't know, Shanti is peace, means peace. Next on our agenda, we have our Doukhobor leader of the Union of Spiritual Communities of Christ, USCC, J.J. Berrigan.
Thank you, Maxine. Hi there, Grand Forks. How are you all doing?
All right.
It's nice to see people celebrating because, frankly, our planet hasn't had too much to celebrate for the last 2-3 years. So thank you, Grand Forks, for coming out and opening your hearts and your minds. I also wish to acknowledge the territory of our Indigenous brothers and sisters and pay tribute to my Doukhobor forebears, because much has been said earlier about the legacy that my generation has inherited. I'd also like to thank Rotary International for this initiative and for their peace building directed towards 2024, 2040. It's important to set those kind of goals for ourselves as human beings, because we've arrived at another significant goal for the city of Grand Forks. 125 years. I think you've all imagined what this beautiful Sunshine Valley must have looked like 125 years ago. I hope we're considering what it will look like in another 125. It's very important to have such designations. They have meaning, even if they're declaratory. But the only way we will make them substantive, brothers and sisters, is if we open our hearts. Because if we think that lasting, enduring peace is going to fall from heaven like manna, or be issued by decree by a government and capital, humanity's been waiting for that for a long time. I think we're coming to the point of understanding, like Rolly mentioned, we ordinary people have an important role to play in building peace, in ensuring peace, in keeping the peace. And right now, when we look out at the world, and we don't have to look far, it's so tragic. I am still hopeful that after turning the page on pandemic and in some fashion ending the horrible bloodletting in Ukraine, and not only Ukraine, but in Europe, in Africa, in Asia, in the Middle East, South America, Central America. We have a lot of work to do. And by having reminders like this, I hope that we will move from declarations to actual work. And there are many, many people here that are committed and dedicated to peace. And I speak not only of people of Doukhobor heritage, of our indigenous brothers and sisters, but from every ethnicity, from every religion, from every nationality that we are blessed with here. You know, in the 80s, we had referenda on disarmament. Grand Forks, I believe, had the highest vote in Canada for disarmament. In City Park, we had Japanese students from Selkirk College dedicate a peace park. We had this valley declared a nuclear weapons-free zone. You know, sometimes I feel like that movie, Groundhog Day all over again. Brothers and sisters, I just want to close with a quote from the Charter of UNESCO, the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization. In the preamble to their charter, it says, "It is in the minds of men that the seeds of war are sown. It's in the minds of men and women that the construct of peace will take place." And so when we are no longer here, but the young people that are present here right now, or that will call this beautiful valley their home, they're going to come and they're going to take a look at those symbols, and they're going to think about how important it is and what they might consider having to do for peace to prevail on earth. Thank you all for being here and demonstrating your commitment, and thank you, Maxine.
Thank you so much, JJ. Now I have Joni Holmes here on behalf of Boundary Aboriginal All Nations Council, or known as BANNT, for a prayer.
Thank you so much, Maxine. It's an honor to be here. So, on behalf of the Boundary All Nations Aboriginal Council, the Métis, the Indigenous people of the Valley, we ask you, Creator, grandmothers, grandfathers, and ancestors, please watch over us and guide us to the way of peace on earth, the way of peace that's in our hearts. We know it's there. We sometimes need it to be awakened. We ask you to watch over all citizens of the world and bring about the goodness that's within our hearts, and to keep on keeping on with the things that we need to do. May peace on earth prevail. Thank you, all my relations.
Thank you so much, Joni. Next, I'd like to call on the Director for the Grand Forks and District Public Library, Carrie Lynn Gallette. And I'd like the Rotarians that have you're going to pass the buckets of stones out. Would you please come up?
You guys are about to get some presents, I think. So the theme for our summer reading club this year was All Together Now. And through weekly activities and projects, we worked on community building and connections. And I was hoping they'd say a little bit more about the stones, so I'm going to briefly give you a summary before I say the rest. They gave us some rocks for kids to paint and think about the concept of peace, and you guys are going to get some of those today. So we talked about peace with the children after reading a book from our collection called Peace by Paul Baptiste. This book talks about the idea of peace in your home, your school, your community, and the world itself, and how our words and actions can affect those around us. So our children painted images on rocks that represented the idea of peace to them, and they got to take one home, and then they painted an extra rock that you guys are going to get today. And it reinforced the idea that you should give away more than you keep for yourself, and that making the world a more beautiful place helps to create a peaceful world. The children were really honored to have the opportunity to take part in the event today. I see some of them here. And so I was also asked to come up with a quote. So we're definitely living in some interesting, terrifying times. So I'm just going to leave you with the words of 19th century Swiss philosopher, I'm so sorry I don't speak French, Henri Frédéric Amiel. Everything you need for a better future and success has already been written. And guess what? All you have to do is go to the library.
Thank you very much, Carolyn, and make sure that you get a rock before you leave if we happen to get through our program. Next on our agenda is Laura Savinkoff, speaking on behalf of the Boundary Peace Initiative.
Well, I'm told I got 1 minute.
I think I told you 30 seconds.
Yeah. So I could stand here and speak to you about what's going on in the world forever. But what I'm going to say is go to the Boundary Peace Initiative website and you will see the work that we do. And all it is boundarypeaceinitiative.org. For more information, we will be at the Harvest Festival next Saturday, all day, with an information table. Come by, talk to me. And we can let you know what's going on. But I also want to invite you to an annual event, International Day of Peace. It is the day the UN walks out and makes a declaration for peace. This year in Grand Forks, we are meeting at the at the library meeting room on September 24th at 1 p.m. The theme this year is End Racism, Build Peace. We will have a panel discussion followed by an interactive discussion. So we need you there. We need you to talk to us, to tell us what you want, what you think, what you feel, how we can change to a culture of peace. And then, from the Boundary Peace Initiative, we thank the organizers for a forever symbol of the desire for a peaceful community. This stone will outlive all of us here today and will speak volumes of our hopes and aspirations for a world where true peace exists, not just an absence of war. Let's build community together. Thank you.
I won't say. Thank you so much, Laura. I'd like to call Victoria Wren, speaking on behalf of the Boundary Women's Coalition, sharing a poem with us.
Hi again. I'm actually really lucky I get to come up here twice. So part of our role at Boundary Women's Coalition is all about hope, peace, and equality. That's what we stand for our organization. And I was asked to say a poem, and I've racked my brain over many poems, and then a couple of the staff actually pointed out that I didn't know. When our support staff are in orientation, it's quite a process. They don't just show up there and start work. There's a process about hope for our women, peace and equality. So this poem, it's a bit of a poem. It's one that new staff read with senior staff and apply it to the work that we do with women. It's called Moccasin Line. We are here to listen, not to work miracles. We are here to help women discover what they feel, not to make feelings go away. We are here to help women identify her options, not to decide what she wants to do. We are here to discuss steps with a woman, not to make steps for her. We are here to help a woman discover her own strength, not to rescue her and leave her still vulnerable. We are here to help women learn to choose, not to make it necessary for her to make difficult choices. We are here to provide support for change. And this was written by Northwest Indian Women's Circle. Thank you.
Thank you, Victoria. That was really touching. Next, I'd like to call upon the Habitat for Humanity Restore Manager. Is Ben Galette here today? No? Okay. Next, I'd like to call on Kootenai Roadbusters, Lorraine Bell Lebedoff.
Hello. First of all, the Kootenai Roadbusters Dragon Boat team would like to say a huge thank you to the Grand Forks Rotary for all their support. And we also are in gratitude of this wonderful peace initiative that has been started today. And we look forward to where it's going to go. I'm just going to do a little quote from Eleanor Roosevelt. It isn't enough to talk about peace. One must believe in it. And it isn't enough to believe in it. One must work at it. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. We're so lucky to have such amazing community organizations. Next, I'd call on Jim Birch to speak on behalf of Phoenix Manor Society.
Thank you very much. I'm pleased today to be representing the Phoenix Manor Society. The Phoenix Manor offers a friendly, supportive atmosphere for 10 single seniors, balancing privacy, companionship, and security with independence. Phoenix Manor provides a home where seniors can live in a peaceful environment with both security and companionship. Phoenix Manor congratulates the Grand Forks Rotary on becoming a Peace Builder Club and creating a wonderful monument to peace. I would like to close with a saying. We must see that peace represents a sweeter music, a cosmic melody that is far superior to the discords of war. From Martin Luther King Jr. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Next, I'd like to call Ryan Bourgeot from the Grand Forks BMX Club. Ryan.
All right, I'd like to say thanks, big thanks to Rotary. They've been very supportive of our club. I think our club does speak for a community-based organization where we do have primarily children that are racing weekly, which has become a very great entertainment. I think for a lot of people in the community have come out, cheap hamburgers and to watch these people race. I do want to say though, it's not just for kids. It can be up to, I've seen as high as 67 as well. So just, but I think, yeah, I'd just like to say all the good work that Rotary does. It's unbelievable the contributions that they do to our community, that bring our community really close together. And it's quite apparent to see all the different people that are here right now. I think this is a fantastic monument, and I do believe, like we said, it'll be around longer than any of us. And it does make us think sometimes. Sometimes in our day-to-day, we might not always be thinking about peace. And I do believe that it is something we should be striving for and working towards. I did a little quick research myself and found a quote from Albert Einstein. And it said, peace cannot be kept by force. It can only be achieved by understanding. And I thought that was really good. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Louise Heck, are you here for Whispers of Hope? Quickly. I mean, all my 30-second people are taking about a minute, so.
Hi, well, I am Louise and I am with Whispers of Hope. We operate a thrift store over on 3rd Street and the Courtesy Kitchen right back here. My quote, I'm not sure of the origin, but I heard it a few years ago and I loved it. And it's when you're fortunate enough to have more than others, it's better to build a longer table than a higher fence. And I really want to thank the Rotary for continuing to build our wonderful tables throughout the Boundary, and Rotary International for all they do around the world for peace and wellness. Thank you.
Thank you, Louise. Next, we have Peyton Maffioli, a recent grad, and she's going to do a short, impassioned speech on what her passion is. Come on up, Peyton. Are you okay? Very good. Yeah.
Good afternoon. I recently represented the Kootenay Boundary at Miss Teenage Canada, and it was an honor to represent our amazing community. My passion is the environment, and I advocate for sustainability and protection. But for the last century and longer, the human race has chosen war against Mother Nature. On behalf of the youth, it is terrifying to see our future become less like a guarantee and more like wishful thinking. I use my voice for reason. I use my voice to protect our earth. I use my voice to ask of us to choose peace. The future is in our hands. May peace prevail on earth. Thank you.
And Peyton, somebody we need to keep our eyes on. She has a very brilliant future. Dawn Coco is just going to quickly end with some very well-deserved thank yous to our donors, and then we would be finished. If some of you have not received a stone or a badge, we do have extras up here, so when Dawn is finished, please make your way up here to collect one for yourself.
Thank you, Maxine.
We're way over.
Yeah, I know. Well, I will be the last speaker, so yay. This project would not have been possible without the hard work and dedication from Maxine Rizika, right here, and David Seven over here. We are also grateful to our sponsors, and they are the Corporation of the City of Grand Forks, Lime Creek Logging, Boundary Home Building Center, Grand Forks and District Library, Grand Forks Concrete, and a big one for Classic Design Studio. You get our plaque. Les Johnson, videographer. Tina Bryan, photography. And the Boundary All Nations Aboriginal Council. Thank you all very much, including Lisa and Bob Gibbs from Gibbs Creek Farm for our beautiful flowers here. Well, thank you very much all for coming here today. We hope this will encourage us to go out and encourage peace. Thank you.
Nicely done. Come on.